Guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber. As always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I want to talk about a story that broke and made major news today involving some treachery out there in Massachusetts. Shout out, especially in the city of Stoughton. And it's involving this guy right here. This guy right here was a police detective who's recently been decertified. His name is Matthew Farwell. Now he's arrested for murder. He's arrested for the murder of this woman up here. 23-year-old Sandra Birchmore, who he's known for a long time. And she plays a significant role in this video, because this guy was grooming her ever since she was in her early teens. The way they met was something innocent. But this cop turned predator put him right where he's at right now. Take a look at this story.
The Department of Justice has formally announced that a former Stoughton, Massachusetts police detective has been federally indicted in the death of Sandra Birchmore. 38-year-old Matthew Farwell of Northeastern is accused of killing Birchmore in January of 2021 and then staging her apartment to make it look like she committed suicide. Farwell, along with two other officers, are accused of having sexual relations with Birchmore for years before she was 16 years old. According to court documents, Birchmore became pregnant around 2020 and told Farwell he was the father of her child. Now, federal prosecutors say he killed her to prevent her from revealing their relationship.
Today's arrest shows that anyone who tries to interfere and retaliate against victims and witnesses in an attempt to subvert the rule of law will have to answer for it.
Prosecutors also allege that before her death, Farwell told Birchmore to delete evidence that they had sex with her before her 16th birthday. After her death, he researched how to delete data from his own phone. Farwell met Birchmore when she was a member of the Stoughton Police Explorers Academy, a vocational program designed for youth interested in law enforcement careers. Birchmore's death was originally ruled a suicide. That's according to the Boston Globe. A pathologist hired by her family found Birchmore's death was in fact a homicide. Her death was ruled a suicide by the Norfolk DA, the same office who determined Boston police officer John O'Keefe was hit by a car. The DOJ was asked during today's press conference about why their office came to a different conclusion than the DA's office.
But is that normal for federal prosecutors and state prosecutors to reach different conclusions on investigations?
So I'm here to talk about one case. We've got about 1,000 cases in the office. I'm not going to comment on any other case in the office. I would just caution you to not extrapolate too much from one case out of all the things that are happening in our office.
Farwell was arrested this morning and appeared in federal court in Boston this afternoon.
Guys, that's the story of this piece of crap, Matthew Farwell. He's not the only one that got in trouble for violating their oaths. There are a couple of other officers, if you paid attention to that news story, that were messing around with this girl. This story I'm about to read you is from the local news, and it reads as follows. Stoughton, Massachusetts. An internal affairs investigation into 3 former Stoughton police officers uncovered a deeply disturbing pattern of behavior towards a young woman who took her own life. Now, this is what they thought she took her own life. It says, the pregnant 23-year-old was found dead in her Canton apartment on February 4th, 2021, right? And this article I'm reading you is from when this first happened. It says, in a news conference Friday, Police Chief Donna McNair revealed details in a 19-month-long investigation. She described the woman as a vulnerable person who deeply admired others who served in uniform. I'm here to talk about today is her life and how she was failed by, manipulated by, and used by people of authority that she admired and trusted right up to her final days, McNamara told reporters. she ordered an investigation one day after the woman's death. Matthew Farwell, William Farwell, and Robert Devine violated their oaths of office and should have never had the privilege of serving any community as a police officer, McNamara said. Through a sustained and deliberate combination of lies, deceit, and treachery, they violated the policies and the core values of the Staunton Police Department, not to mention human decency. It began in 2010 when the victim at age 13 joined the Staunton Police Department Youth Explorers program and met Matthew Farwell. 2 years later, Matthew Farwell began having an inappropriate relationship with her. McNamara said he was 27 years old at the time. The investigation uncovered many hundreds of digital messages and explicit exchanges between Matthew Farwell and the woman, Sandra Birchmore, over the course of several years, the chief said. Matthew Farwell exploited the woman until Matthew Farwell decided to end the relationship on February 1, 2021, said McNamara. The investigation reported that Farwell said he got into a pretty nasty argument while ending the relationship. William Farwell, who is Matthew's twin brother, Robert Devine, and at least one other, so it's 4 guys, other police officer also had inappropriate relationships with the woman, McNamara said. According to the investigation, William Farwell not only had an inappropriate physical relationship, but he exchanged explicit messages, photos with the woman while on duty. At the very least, William Farwell tried to introduce her to other men, the investigation said. Robert Devine was the deputy police chief in Staunton before he was demoted to patrol officer for abusing his power. He was also part of an after-school program at Staunton Middle School. The investigation determined that Devine had inappropriate contact with a female student in that program, McNamara said. Years before the victim was part of the Explorers program, both Farwell brothers participated in it. The program was run by Devine as a paramilitary style program that taught aspects of policing to youth participants. The unnamed officer involved is currently working in another community. McNamara said she has given that police chief the findings of the investigation. According to sources, the officer works in Abington. Police there said an officer has been placed on paid administrative leave while they conduct the investigation. Our investigation also uncovered inappropriate communication between the woman and a military recruiter, and we are in the process of notifying the appropriate chain of command and our findings, said McNamara. All 3 men associated with the Staunton police have resigned. McNamara has recommended the state permanently revoke Devine and the Farwell brothers' certifications to serve as police officers, as they've been placed on a national decertification list. The Explorer program, which hasn't happened in some years, has been disbanded. A person who wears a badge in this community will work to earn back the trust of our citizens. We will be trained and retrained on the meaning and the importance of our oath. Anyone who violates that sacred responsibility will be held accountable, McNamara said. The investigation involved, listen to this, guys, the investigation involved nearly 100,000 pages of cell phone data, a dozen interviews, and several outside experts. The district attorney's office now has the report. On Friday, the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office told WBZ TV, without victim testimony, the investigation to date has not developed a prosecutable statutory rape case against the individuals. This article right here was written at the time all of this stuff came out, and it wasn't national news. So this all broke September 23rd of 2022. Now they said they ruled her death as a homicide, But her family wasn't convinced. So what did they do? They went and got outside experts to come back, and they found out it was something else. That's good thinking by them. It was ruled a homicide. Now this dude is locked up, got a twin brother. You could probably expect something to happen with him and the other two dudes. This part is crazy. He was grooming his chick. Look at the picture. That's him with her when she was 13 years old. All she wanted to do was be a cop. She ain't thinking about nothing sexual with him. This dude used his adult mind, his power. He's seen she liked men in uniform. He had the rep. And look what it cost him. That's messed up. That's somebody's daughter. I'm sure he knew the family. Because I know in communities like that where children want to be police officers, the parents are usually involved because they want to know what's going on and they're proud of their children. Sometimes want to be a public servant where they would put their life in the line like a U.S. soldier or something. A lot of times in certain communities and backgrounds, being a police officer is big. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm sure the parents knew about this guy. He got old. He started messing with him when she was 15 years old. He was 27 at the time. Come on, man. Come on. What are we doing here? Then he passed her around, showed he didn't think nothing of her in the first place. Another thing is, said she found out she was pregnant, told him he's the daddy. He already looks at her as less than nothing because he passed her around like potato chips to his boys. He don't want that on him. So what does he do? Stages it like she killed herself when he was the one that did it all the time. The whole time. Damn. You didn't have to kill her. She's still young. You know what I mean? You trying to hide your shame. You shouldn't have been messing with her at all because what you did was shameful. And I'm not talking about the killing her part. I'm talking about the messing with her. This is my thing, man. A child that young is nothing sexy about him. Where are these guys getting this from to where they just get turned on by a child, looking like a child? This guy right here, arrest them type of people. And he was one of the type of people himself. That's where the treachery lies. Then he covered the scene up and tried to make it look like she killed herself. Man, her parents and stuff all hurt and stuff. I wonder if he went to the funeral. That'd be bad if he did that and he the one that did it. But either way, man, you can never underestimate the trueness of a man's heart and where it really lies and like what their real agenda is when they, not even just around your kids, when they just involved in something. What's the end game? I wonder how long it took him when he seen her to target her. But either way, man, come on, man. 23 years old, gone with a baby in her. So somebody gonna pay for it. It's disrespectful. This guy put people in jail. Now he in jail. Fuck him. Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. May Sandra, what's her name, Birchmore, rest in peace. Damn shame. Some people might blame her and be like, oh, but she know better and this and that, this and that. A lot of times she was only 13, 15 years old. His mind running laps around her. He could say and do anything he want to get her in position because she wants something from it or wants something so bad it can be used against you. That's what predators do. They prey on people. See you in the next video. Take care.